is a walk, legacy walk to our youth clinic, to the game itself. I thought it was a great outpouring of Spartan Nation a little bit, and so the crowd was into it a little bit, so that was good. Had some crowd noise out there. The wind was a factor, there's no question. I thought I was going to blow off to the side there a couple times. But spring practice is still going. We'll have our final practice on Tuesday, which will be number 15. Tried to play everybody in a spring football game, which is what we did, giving everybody an opportunity to do something in that football game, which I think is important, because I think everybody has to bring value. They have to have an opportunity to play in front of a crowd, to put a little bit more pressure on them as players. As far as what exactly happened out there, we'll watch the film to better disseminate what's going on. But I thought the work he played well. I thought he threw the ball effectively in some tight windows, in the wind, and you know, guys made some good catches. Had a couple catches that were balls that were dropped, and I think Lombardi, if he takes a couple negative plays there in terms of what went on with you know, I think he dropped a snap or something of that nature. You know, he threw the ball pretty effectively as well. Ran the ball. We'll see how we run the ball based on the film and what's going on defensively. We're a hard football team to run against, and we'll maintain that as we go. So I'll take some questions and we'll go from there.
Mark, that kind of was my first question for you, is when you have the defense playing at as high of a level it is, how can you judge the offense when they maybe aren't going to face a defense any better during the season?
Well, let's hope so. First of all, you know, I hope they continue to play like that. But I don't know, you know, we play a lot of press coverage, we play a lot of quarters coverage in man coverage, so that's not earth-shattering. People know that about us. So the windows are going to be tight to throw the ball into. I thought Josiah Price made an outstanding play, really made a couple of outstanding plays. So they got the ball off of people, and so you know, when you're the head coach, you know, you're sort of in the wind, literally. The guy makes a good play and on defense, or he makes a good play on offense, you know, you've got to just value that as a good football play. So that's what we'll do. But we'll watch the film, and the main thing I want to always try and do in these spring games is this an active game. We're not tagging off there. We're not, you know, at the end of the game we put our ones in the game a little bit. So, you know, Dante Rosano broke his arm, so he's out right now. But that's the only real injury I think that we had. That was significant. So I think he'll be okay. But I think the main thing you want to do is try and again be crisp as we can. Everybody gets an opportunity, and that you take steps forward, and that there's value in this scrimmage. And I think there is value in it, because we can evaluate and say, hey, could you block this guy, or can you tackle that guy?
I want to ask you about Brian a little more specifically. To me, it looked like he was back to throwing the way we were used to seeing him throw, with a little zip, you know, kind of right on the money. Yeah. Did you see that from him? Was that one of the most important things to see today from him?
Yeah, I think so. You know, especially like I said, I mean, the wind is blowing out there. I don't know which way it's blowing. That's the crazy thing. You know, it's blowing across the field, back, forth, everything. So it was all over the place. So I thought he threw the ball effectively, as I said. I think he's done that throughout the spring. His arm strength is good. Doesn't mean it's going to be on the money all the time, but his arm strength is good. He looks healthy, and I think I hope his confidence is there. You know, that's what I plan on, and it seems to be based on how he performed today. But you know, quarterback is such an inspiring position. You know, you need to inspire people. It's not just you got to have confidence in yourself. I don't care you're 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you got to inspire other people, and your body language has to say so. So I think you'll be ready to go.
Mark, you kind of along the same lines with Brian last week, or this week, it said he thought that it's still kind of a work in progress as far as he felt fine, but just getting back. How much do you think today goes towards pushing down that road a little further?
Well, when you throw the ball well and you're connecting on receivers and making some plays, I think that's great for you. You know, that's always a practice thing. Again, you go back to how good we are on the other side of the ball, and it's not just the quarterback all the time. You got to separate on offense with your receivers. So you got to protect the quarterback. So there's a lot of things working. And as I said to our players today, you know, I mean, really, if you could talk to an offensive lineman and a defensive back, you wouldn't even know that they're playing the same game based on what they're being taught and how complex the offensive line play is compared to how to play a corner. It's two very different type positions. So it all goes hand in hand. It really does. And So I've continually said in here, football's a game of execution, and you got to pass protect, you got to have a rhythm throwing the ball, you got to throw it to the right place. Same with running the ball, you got to defend it, you got to have a pass rush, those type of things. So it all goes hand in hand. But I think, again, I go back to the totality of the scrimmage. I think it's a positive. They have to play in front of people. There's crowd noise out there you couldn't hear out there, so there was enough crowd noise to create that and play in front of people, which I think is positive. For a lot of guys that never, we've got young guys that have not played very much too, so that was a good experience for them.
Mark, a lot of running backs got touches today. Can you comment on what you saw and evaluate that position at the end of spring?
Well, I think one of the things that we want to look at is who we're going to hand the ball to 200 times. Who is that person? And I keep asking that question as I go. And you see some spurts of different guys accordingly. I think 34 out there gives you a guy. I mean, he reminds me a little of Jeremy Langford. I thought Connor Hayward hit a big one on the screen. No question he can catch the football. I think that Elijah Collins has done some things, but he's a little hesitant at times, and he's got to hit it. And I think Ladarius is a big, powerful back. Weston got in there some too. So again, I think that's a work in progress, to be quite honest with you. But they've had good moments, all of them, and we've run the ball more effectively this spring.
Mark, over here, back to the running backs with Anthony Williams. What is it you like about him? I mean, he obviously looks the part, seems to have some natural instincts. What about him early on gives him a chance?
He's quick. He's got a good first step and good cutback ability, and I think he's got good vision. He catches the ball well. He's tough, and he's just learning the position. So he's not topped out. I mean, he's just starting to. He's had 14 practices, so he's still learning. But I think he shows. He has really all spring. He's shown things in the spring that reminds you, like I said, Jeremy, a little bit in terms of just sort of that ability to cut back against the spring.
Mark, I was wondering, A.J. Curry is a guy that we've heard about a little bit this spring in terms of possibly making a move. I know you said you'd have to watch the film to get a little deeper. I was just curious your top line sort of thoughts on his play and the offensive line in general today.
Again, I'm just trying to keep my footing out there, not get blown away. So it's tough really to evaluate your offensive line, in there. I don't think, we didn't bring max pressure and things of that nature on defense, but I thought he did pretty well, but, again, you got to watch the film.
Creating in this format in third straight year, how have you evaluated the way you put starters? Mostly starters were starters, and kind of setting up those situations where you want to create those. Yeah,
in these scrimmages, I'm always going to create three red zone opportunities or sudden change opportunities for the offense to make the defense play with their back to the ball, to the wall, and in the red zone. I think that's important that they do that they have to be able to roll up and play. Consequently, you have to be able to take advantage of the red zone when you have that opportunity. So we're trying to make it like that. I don't want the ball being punted back and forth the whole scrimmage. So there's sort of 6 plays and on. So we're going to play 6 straight plays and on. And so there's sort of we've done that. We couldn't split it up and have a scrimmage, but then you can't put guys. You just can't alternate guys in and play around with the different scenarios. In other words, play 2s with 1s. So we try to mix it up in there to give everybody an opportunity to play, which I think that's as much as important as anything. Let them show what they've got, continually show on film. As I said earlier in the week, I think we've got, I think we ran 90+ plays out there, which is a lot for a spring game in 2/3 of a game. They're getting work and they're getting an opportunity to do what they can do, and then we can have an opportunity to evaluate.
Mark, you and Mike both said that you want to try and get 22 starters on defense.
Yeah.
Guys like Kalen Gervin today and Zach Slade look like they're jumping out. I mean, what did you see from maybe some of those younger guys that are trying to work their way in?
Well, I think we have good young players. Kalen is a guy that I think is making his move a little bit. Shakur Brown's had a good spring as well at the other corner. Those guys are both feel like they can both play at this level and be successful. They can really run. They have good ball skills and things of that nature. So Zach's a guy that, we've got a couple of defensive ends that are out, but I think he's a guy that can make plays and get involved. He'll be a redshirt freshman as well. So he's a young player. We're certainly solid up the middle with our returning guys, and got to play around the edges. But we should he should be pretty good. You know, just got to stay healthy.
Two other quick things ahead, Mark. Do you have an idea, or as much as you can share now, about what that 15th practice will be about now, when you say one like that?
Yeah, we're going to work. We're going to work. And we're going to go out there and do certain situations maybe we haven't experienced or things we need to get better at. And we're going to try and take all the situations that we deal with in the game of football and rep those things in practice. So we look back and check the box and try and create some different situations that maybe we haven't seen. But I think it's important that our guys just, we have an opportunity as much as anything to watch this film and put an evaluation process. So many times in the past, spring game comes, boom, you're out, you leave recruiting, you don't get the chance to evaluate it and sit down and watch it with your team and your players. It's just sort of on to the next thing. So we've taken this opportunity to continue spring practice, so as much as anything, we can evaluate the film and look forward to the next practice and just leave it. Leave that practice moving forward. So it'll be important that we just keep pushing.
And then we noticed guys like Cole Chewins and Antoine Simmons are a couple of guys that we just didn't see today. Is there anything you can say about whether that was precautionary or?
Yeah, they just nicked up. We just held them out.
Got a few more. We got Matt, Hondo, and then Jim, too.
Without going back, it seemed like you must have had 10 receivers or so catch the ball. I mean, I guess in that second group beyond the starters that were out there, I guess is there anybody you can say who's really taken a step forward this spring from those?
I think Maurice Nelson's had a good spring. And then C.J. Hayes, the guy that can really pluck the ball out of the air. He's getting better. So those two guys, Trey Mosley's a guy that's an incoming guy that can be a very good player. But again, he's just getting his feet on the ground. And so when you're trying to measure that, you're really trying to play against top players in a very speed-related environment, where things are happening very fast. You got to be able to adjust and understand the things conceptually. So those guys, I would say, are the next guys rolling up there. They've done some things other than the guys you already know about.
And Mark, we've touched on so many positions. I guess I'll ask you about the tight ends. How's that situation looking for you?
I think Dotson's had a good spring thus far. I'm not sure what he did today. I don't think he had any catches today. And Noah Davis is back healthy, it looks like, so that's a positive thing. Trent Gillison's a guy that needs to continue to come on. He's a redshirt freshman, so he's young, still learning to play at this level, but I think he's got talent. Matt Seibert's had a solid spring as well, and Rosenthal's working in there as well. So we're using about 5 guys at that position, and they're getting an opportunity to play in there with the ones. So as many times, the tight ends these days are becoming positions of, you don't see the traditional tight ends anymore. And I would say that that's the case with our guys as well. So there are more guys that are flexed out or motion guys or off the line and those type of things as we go.
Luke Campbell's a guy that started early last year, and then we didn't see him. I think it was listed as an injury or something like that. How is he coming along? He's at left guard now, and what's his?
Yeah, Luke's had a good spring. I think he's reaffirmed himself. I think Tyler Higbee's and him are sort of battling, and both guys have been starters for us. And have had their good moments, and they've had some other moments that have been tough. So that's a positive thing in my mind. You got guys back with a lot of football experience. They played a lot of football. They should be good. That's my expectation. They both should be good.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.